Hmm. So, good morning, everybody. This is Rebecca with Widow's Peak, and let me do a little introduction. So, I have a couple YouTube channels, but this one is dedicated. Oh, here we go. Okay, sorry about that. So this is Rebecca with Widow's Peak, and like I said, if you've seen any of my other channels, which I have a few, I have one on history, one on true crime. This is more of a therapy session I do for myself. I am in therapy, but sometimes that's just not enough. Sometimes you just have moments where you just need to talk and may not need to talk to a person, but you just talk. And so, a little introduction. For those of you who are just now coming across this, I was married to my husband for 22 years, and he passed away or died. I always say tragically, but it is tragic. He died, it'll be 4 years on Tuesday. Um, and we'll get more into how he died later, but 4 years. And when it comes to around the time of his death anniversary, it just feels like it just happened all over again. And it's weird. Because he wasn't a good person. I mean, I was married to him for like 20 plus years, but he was not a good person. He was severely flawed. I mean, all people have flaws, but he was aggressive, he was mean, he was an alcoholic, he was a opioid addict. I mean, and take what you want from that, when I say he was mean. But yet, I did everything I could for him, and I tried to get him better. I tried to get him help, and he just wouldn't do it. And we have kids, and I was even trying to get him better for them, and it was just a whole mess. But it's like I have all this trauma for being married to him and all the things he did to me. I mean, I still have physical ailments that he caused that are still an issue now. And but I still miss him. Make that make sense. So I've come to realize grief is one of those things where there's no real timeline for how you're supposed to feel. There's no timeline of when you got to stop feeling, if you ever stop feeling. And no matter how horrible a person is, you still miss some aspect of them. Um, because we had our good days, we had our good times. I mean, he wasn't a complete jerk the entire time, and it's those memories I try to hold on to. And I was talking to my kids yesterday because, Tuesday is the anniversary. And I asked them, I said, how are you all dealing with this? And they all looked at me like I was crazy. And, they're all adults. And, you know, um, my youngest, she was like, Mom, sometimes I think of, if it's the day and I forget about it, I forget about it. Sometimes I remember it. I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, I pretty much push through and just deal. And I said, okay. And then my other daughter, that turned more into a accusation of what is wrong with you, and you need to be in therapy, which I am. And yeah, it's a whole thing. I couldn't get her to really even talk about it. But just sometimes it's hard finding people to talk to about this, because unless they have gone through something, the only type of pain I can say that even comes close to what losing a spouse is losing a child, which is worse. I've never lost a child, but I'm just going to assume when you lose a child, it's worse than losing a spouse. That grief, that pain, that agony. And I don't know. Like I said, I'm just kind of going through the motions right now. Like, I had a therapy session yesterday, and I was telling her about how I'm just so tired and I can't sleep, and I'm having dreams that I shouldn't be having. And we've come to the conclusion that my body is just doing muscle memory. because the last 6 months he was alive, his health wasn't that great. Because he was a heavy drinker. He had developed epilepsy because of the opioids and the alcohol and the cigarettes and everything. Had just destroyed his teeth, and had hip problems, and he wasn't an old guy. He was 49 when he died. So he had had all his teeth removed in May of 2022 because he was going to get false teeth put in, and he developed an infection from the surgery, which made him very, very sick. So he spent pretty much the entire month of June of 2022 in the hospital. And he had these abscesses that had formed inside his stomach, and they had to put drains in there. It was a whole thing. He was just miserable. And because of the epilepsy, I mean, he just wasn't himself. He'd had a massive seizure beginning of January, and he just wasn't the same after that. And the aggression and the meanness and all that got worse. And he just wouldn't listen, because you can't take neuromeds and drink on top of that. You just can't. And I tried explaining that to him. He thought I was trying to control him. It was a whole thing. But the one thing about him was he absolutely defied authority. He had issues with authority. He didn't like being told what to do, and he sure as hell did not like being told what to do by me. And because of the seizures, he couldn't drive. I didn't know he was taking our daughter's car out in the middle of the night, doing God knows whatever. And on the day he died, he did the same thing. I had left for work about 6:30 in the morning, and he left pretty much right after and had a seizure and wrapped the car around a tree. Died on impact. I'm grateful for that, because I think if he had injured himself so bad where he ended up in the hospital and then died later, that's worse. So I'm grateful that he died on impact. And I'm grateful he had a seizure, because he had no idea what was going on when it happened. So that's even better. Um, but yeah, I mean, this is, I don't know. Like I said, my therapist seems to think my body's going through some type of muscle memory, because, at the time I was working 2 jobs. I was sleeping maybe 2 hours a night. It was pretty bad. And, I went through that for months, like basically May through like August. And she's like, your body's just behaving like it did at that time. It's like a muscle memory thing. And it's like, how do I stop this? Um, and I'm more emotional now this year than I was last year. I don't know why. I don't know why. But, like I said, grief never doesn't stop. It's like my father, I don't grieve him anymore. My mom, I still do, and she's been dead 20 years. I just it's weird seeing how well the kids are doing, and he's not here to see it. It's weird getting older and he's not here to see it. Um, like, we go to restaurants, me and the kids, and we'll see something that he would have ordered, like something like, oh, he would like, oh, I have to have that, or songs that come out, or movies, or just anything. We're constantly reminded of him every single day, of everything he does, topics, everything. And the other thing, and I'll probably say this for another segment, dating after a loss like this, that's a whole other can of worms. So, I'll say that for another segment. But yeah, Tuesday will be 4 years. So if anybody sees this, say a prayer for me on Tuesday. Because that's just, because when he died, I was at work and I got the call at my desk, and the nurse told me over the phone that he was dead, which they're not supposed to do. But I put that woman in an impossible position by asking a question, and there was no way for her to get out of it other than lying. So she told me the truth. And that day is kind of a blur to a degree. It's like everything moved in slow motion. So, and I kind of relive it a little bit. So, like normally on the anniversary of his death, I'm not here at work. I take the day off because I can't be in the building when that happened. That was just so freaking traumatic for me. And now I'm back and forth like, okay, so you gonna work or you're not gonna work? They are having an ice cream social that day. I know I'm sad. Um, so we'll see. Like I said, I mean, it's one of those things. I think I'm gonna come in and just play it by ear and see how I do. And there's ice cream, and you can't say no to ice cream. I know I'm nuts. Okay, well, anyway, I'm gonna hop off here and go do my job. And thank you, everybody, for watching and commenting if you want to, or giving your thoughts, opinions, whatever. And this is Rebecca with Widow's Peak. Have a oh yeah, have a great Wednesday, and thank you for stopping by. Bye.